Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zillion. Thank you for joining me as we talk about chapter 160 of the We Never Learn manga series. And we start things off with a very beautiful cover image that makes Furuhashi look a bit more older / mature, and honestly, I really like this art style. It looks absolutely phenomenal, and without the risk of sounding creepy, because yes, Furuhashi is younger than I am, the older, mature style look for Furuhashi's character in this cover image, it looks really appealing and really nice. Thumbs up from me. Okay, so let's get this out of the way first. After reading this first chapter of the Furuhashi route, I'm having a much better time already than any of the chapters I had in the Rizu route. I love the chapters about Sekijo and Misao in the Rizu route, but honestly, the comedy and the facial expressions and the emotion in this chapter are so enjoyable that it just makes me want to invest myself into this route even more. I never had that with the Rizu route personally, and the changes that were made to the main story in this first chapter were nice and they worked effectively. They weren't stupid, they weren't silly, and they made sense. The one big glaring issue I had with the Rizu route is when Uruka and Furuhashi found out about the game and they eavesdropped on that conversation, they just went flat off Narayuki and just stopped altogether. They went, okay, we give up, Rizu can have him. Now, that was a big no in my opinion, but this chapter, it changes a big scene in where Narayuki falls over and gets hurt. Instead, it's Furuhashi that gets hurt. And this scene makes sense because it was set up nicely, and it sets up for big things in the future, which I'll get to in a minute, because it allows more opportunities for different characters to make an appearance. So, we start this chapter off with some great emotional detail. The art style and the detail to the emotion in this part is like the first 3 or 4 pages was absolutely stunning, because it does 2 things. It A, shows us that we're having more development from Furuhashi as a character, because at this moment in time, she's still trying to come to terms with her feelings and allowing herself to love the guy that she wants to love without hurting her friends. At this moment in time, she is afraid to upset Uruka and Rizu because she knows that they like Narayuki. So she doesn't want to develop her feelings and play on them because she knows that in the end it might affect her friendship with the other 2. And obviously this development is going to prove to be a segment in where Furuhashi overcomes that and she does stuff that she wants to do. She'll learn to become selfish for herself and, develop her feelings even further, which is something I'm thoroughly looking forward to. Now, the other things that it does is that it shows us some great emotional detail, and it shows us that the feelings that Furuhashi has are realistic and are real towards Narayuki. The fact that she does say I love you over and over again, fine. But it's the expressions and the way that the dialogue is portrayed that it means that she's very hurting inside while thinking these things. She desperately wants to, find the answer. She desperately wants to be with this guy. And we see her tearing up. We see her questioning herself. We see the dialogue kind of changing slightly. And then that ending was, Mum, what do I do? She's asking her mother, who is obviously a star at this point, for guidance. And honestly, that hit me quite hard, and that's only the first 3 or 4 pages. So, for that perspective, brilliant. Now, why do you think that this comes apart? Well, at this beginning stage, we see the key moments that Yuiga has helped out Furuhashi, and it does help connect events to feelings being shown on the screen. Like I said, Furuhashi is showing that she has deep feelings towards Yuiga and that she loves him and has affection. And throughout this chapter, she shows that he is the one that gives her courage. And these events that are shown to us very briefly in the first page of him helping her with family issues, believing in her when nobody else did, it really can lead to develop feelings like gratitude, love, affection, and other kind of positive emotions developing and leading to other places. So I thought that was very smart. I thought that was great writing, and as of openings go, spot on. Okay, so then let's talk about the injury. This is a scene I alluded to just a minute ago, but Furuhashi getting injured, I thought was a great way to set up different situations in the future. We now have a situation where Yuiga and Fumino are, spending time together, and it sounds realistic and it sounds plausible. Like, it's not forced. Yes, it might be forced on Yuiga's side, but it makes sense to his character, and I'll explain why in a second. But I mean, we get this situation now at the end of the chapter where these two are together, so we can actually expand and show the feelings that each other has, and we can possibly see some development in that front. I presume we are going to see some development. Now, the other thing that this sets up is ways for characters to return that again makes sense. All of the other girls have to do is show up at the door and say, "Hey Furuhashi," or "Hey Fumino, we came to see how you were doing." And this could either lead to comedy, or it could lead to just kind of development from both a closure point of view, or from like a character building and friendship building type of thing. You remember in the main storyline, we had this whole situation where all the girls found out they all had feelings for Yuiga, and then they all kind of came to terms with it and kind of was at ease and at peace for the most part. Well, we could get that from, obviously, Uruka turning up, Rizu turning up. We could get that, and that would lead to more Furuhashi development that would help her overcome her struggles of feeling like she has to suppress herself so her friends don't get upset. Sensei in this chapter was true to herself, offering that hospital ride. However, Furuhashi, for the love of God, please take the bus. You'll end up more injured going with Kurisu Sensei than you will, going on your own in public transport. I don't know, I just thought that was a bit funny. Plus, Azumi's reaction I thought was a bit telling. She kind of thought maybe it's a bit more than a sprain. Who knows? Now, Yuiga wanting to help out Furuhashi for saving him, again, is true to his character, and this could be a very good and small way of them writing in some development of like a shimmer of feelings forming towards Furuhashi from Yuiga's perspective. Yuiga could have thought that if he had fallen, then he might not have been able to take that exam. And for Yuiga, getting the exams and the results that he wanted, and proving that he could do what he wants to do, and going after his dream so that he can provide for his family, is everything to him. He wants to be able to make sure his family are safe and happy, and he wants to repay the respects that his family have given him, and the courage and the gratitude they have given him, by allowing him to follow his dreams. And if he'd fallen over and missed the exam, he wouldn't be able to do that. And that would have made him feel extremely bad. So, he might have lost his dream. He might not have been able to, repay his family for their kindness. And he might have just given up on things. Well, not given up completely, but you know what I mean. He would have fallen into a semi-dark place, because everything that he had worked for would have been for nothing if he could not make that exam. So Furuhashi saving him might in turn create some sort of feelings of gratitude, respect, maybe love and admiration blooming within the act of kindness that she gave him. I know that was an awful lot to kind of comprehend, and maybe it didn't make 100% sense. If it doesn't, let me know down in the comment section and I'll explain that a little bit better. But basically, to sum it all up, from this act of kindness from Furuhashi, romance could bloom within the heart of Yuiga. Who knows? Just saying. Plus, the line at the end, in where Yuiga states that he'll stick with her until the end, or until her leg gets better, you could kind of interpret this as a bit of like a love confession or something similar that you would say to someone that you really, really like. And as Furuhashi's, blushing and her reactions, she's in a bit of a daze. She's a bit kind of love-struck and a kind of, oh my god, did you just say that? Type of thing. And yes, the reaction is realistic. And I want to see what crazy images her imagination creates after hearing that line. But unfortunately, the chapter ends, and, it makes us want to have the next chapter that much sooner. Overall, I thought this chapter was a big step in a positive direction for the series itself. I actually really like this chapter overall, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Honestly, I haven't thought that way about the series for a very long time. Recently, I was kind of getting bored of reviewing the series because the chapters just weren't holding my attention. But this chapter brought me right back into it, and I'm happy to do this. The comedy was fantastic. Furahashi's dad is a brilliant character, and I'm so glad to see him again. He makes that very awkward comedy, like, one-liners that you're just like, shut up, just don't, why would you say that? And that's what Furuhashi reacts to, and it's comedy gold. Brilliant. And Furuhashi's overreactions in this episode, and in any kind of chapter, episode, or whatever it is, they're always enjoyable to see. And her love struck is a nice change of pace from her often hiding of feelings, I suppose. That was very poorly worded, but you get what I'm saying. It's nice to see Furuhashi come out of her shell a little bit and show what she really wants to show. So let me know what you thought of this chapter down in the comment section below. Did you enjoy it? If not, why not? Let me know all your thoughts. I hope you've enjoyed this chapter. I hope you enjoyed this review even. Hit a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me. And until next time, I hope you have an amazing day. And I'll catch you next time. Alligator, matane, goodbye.